Alright, so everything started some months ago where I lay to my bed, grab my phone, open YouTube, and I saw some recommendations, some guys doing Flutter apps. And yeah, I actually got pretty interested about making Flutter apps because of it. Uh, and yeah, I really like Flutter and the way they were doing it, and I got motivated on learning it. So I set up from my desk and watching more Flutter videos, and then I decided to learn Flutter in 7 days, but it went wrong because it took me a little bit of more of time, and it went 14 days. So yeah, this is how I learned Flutter on 14 days. Yeah, first of all, what I did was learning the basics, like the frameworks, how Flutter works, because it's actually pretty important to know how it works and the back end of Flutter. Yeah, then after that, I actually installed Flutter and I started making my first app. So I followed along this Flutter crash course. And then I'll leave you in the description that it was like my first app building. Yeah, it actually went pretty straightforward. Introducing to Flutter by making an app like instantly was the best option that I could do. At the beginning, I didn't understand too much and I was pretty afraid. It's just learning Flutter by making applications on a Flutter crash course and then going on was the best option, or maybe I need to buy a course or something like that. But it was pretty good. At the beginning, I just copied the entire code, but then I feel pretty bad because I just copied the code. I mean, I didn't like actually understand what I was doing, so I felt bad and I said, why if I don't like sit down and start reading the code basically and trying to figure out what was going on. And that's what I did. I started seeing how things work. I have some classes, I have main function, I have widgets, I have this, and I was putting things together on how they were communicating with I watched later. I was actually trying to understand, and I was going to put like it was like a puzzle. And then I felt good because I made some little changes to the app so I can actually understand a little bit more better. For introducing to Flutter, the Flutter crash course were actually pretty straightforward, to the point, and I have a really basic understanding of how it works. So yeah, but I felt good. I installed the app, tested it on my phone, everything was going flawlessly, and I felt really happy. I don't know why, because I made more complex app on Android Studio, but learn new things, seeing they work actually always feels really good. But I wasn't going to stop there. I was going to keep going and keep learning more, obviously. So I went and coded a second app. So this second app is basically everything front end, and I went like really big. I went from having like a basic understanding of Flutter to actually building an entire app. Obviously, it was everything front end, everything was UI, but learning about how Flutter works, building the UI and the things to communicate the things were actually pretty good. And it was a 3 hour long course, and I'll leave all the videos in the description of the courses. And it was about a travel app. Building the app was actually pretty good because I just went and followed along the first bar, and I was actually understanding widgets, children, childs, no safety, and things were going good. And I was trying not just to copy the code, like when take the code, do whatever the high does, copy there. Every line of code that I was writing, I was trying to understand why I was there and what I was doing, because that's the most important part. Then I made the homepage where I was going to add the main components. Yeah, I added some scrollables, some buttons, some fake buttons because they weren't going to do nothing. The app was everything front end, but the guy was playing really good, and I was actually understanding a lot. Then the app had basically it's a travel app where you can travel to different points. Basically, whenever you click like in a travel point, and you go to a detail page. Basically, in the detail page, it tells you the description of where you're going to go, the name, the price, the stars, reviews. And I wanted to make that entire page by myself with the little that I've learned. It was really good. I'm not gonna lie. I learned about columns, I learned about rows. I researched up a little bit on Google also. Everything went pretty straightforward, and I was able to perform this this beautiful detail page, and it was actually feeling really good because I did it everything by myself, and that code entirely was by myself. I felt good because I was able to make Flutter UI in just some days. I was pretty afraid of learning Flutter because it seems like a long code with a lot of things, and it's hard. But then by just going and just doing it, everything went pretty straightforward. So yeah, then I finished the app. I installed it to my phone, tested my phone, and everything was really good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, everything is okay. So, but yeah, then I got really motivated and I wanted to do a final app. But I want to do like something big, and I'm going to do a final app with a little bit of backend, with a little bit of code. I wanted to do something pretty hard. So this is what I did. Alright, so for this third and final app, I wanted to create a products app where you can basically keep track of all your products. And I wanted to also add a user implementation where each user is going to have a number of products. And yeah, that was the basic idea. And I created also a database where I was going to save all the information about the users and the products. It is a SQL database in my local computer. So the main functionality is that the application, you can log in or sign up as a username, you can have a password, a profile picture, and you can create products. Each product, basically you can edit them, modify them, you can also edit your own information, log in, and delete account. That is the basic idea on how the app works. And yeah, the first thing I started doing was creating the database, obviously. So I built a really simple schema about a SQL database and created it. Had some problems and I needed to reinstall SQL like always. Yeah, I was able to create the database pretty straightforward. And then I created the login page for the first part because I wanted to check if I can connect my app to the database, but I couldn't, and I tried another way for doing that. It worked. I was going to use that way for basically doing everything that I needed to do with my database. So yeah, from there I finished the login page properly, and also I created a register page or a sign up page, however you want to call it, where you sign up and you can put your username, your password, and the profile picture, and then you hit register and you sign up, and that's it. So then basically whenever you sign up or log in or register, you're going to go to the homepage where you are going to see all your basic products and all the information that you have. So first of all, I needed to create the logic for this, but before doing all the logic about the product information, the products, and showing the products, basically the backend, I wanted to create the layout first. And that's what I did. I created the basic layout of the homepage, then created the layout for creating a new product, and also for the profile page, because you're going to have profile page where you can see all your profile information, all your account information, where you can also going to edit it. After doing all of that, I went for the profile page first, where I was going to add all the backend and all basically the logic and the functionality of the application. And basically every time that you enter to your account information is going to be refreshed, and it's going to basically query the database, so it's going to get all your account information like your username, your profile picture, the number of products, and all of that. And you can also delete your own account or log out if you want to log in with another account. So basically you can edit all your account information like your profile picture, and you can edit your username and do all of that stuff. And I added all the logic, and I say it like really simple, but it took me hours and hours of code because, as I said, I'm a beginner and doing something like this take me all the time. And then I moved on for the page of creating a new product, and I also added all the functionality, like if you put a bad product name, basically it's going to tell you, hey, you put the product name bad. Or if you didn't select it an image at all, it's going to tell you, hey, you didn't select an image. you need to do that first, you know. Yeah, that was what I started doing. And also I did the backend on all the information, where you basically every time that you hit create, it's going to send all the data to the database. And then I went back, I started coding the homepage, where I was going to basically fetch all the products of the user and adding all that functionality to it. Yeah, it was a little bit complicated because I needed to basically fetch all the information from the database. But yeah, I wanted to try some really tricky ways of doing that for basically high more performance. But and then I cheated myself. Like, I wanted to create things really complicated and they didn't work at all, because it was like my first app on Flutter and I wanted to create a fully functional app and I needed to go like slower. So then I gave up in some way and I made the fetching the products more easier. So yeah, I coded all the backend and reformat the layout so you can actually see all of that. Yeah, you can see all your products and do all your stuff. And then I need to code and the edit button, where you can basically edit the product. So when you click this, you can modify or delete. If you click delete, it's going to tell you, are you sure you want to delete this? And if you say yes, it's going to delete it. If you say no, nothing's going to happen. And if you say modify, it's going to show you like another page where you can basically modify the entire product, like the image, the name, the description, and the price. And I coded all of this also with 600 lines of code almost. I don't know why it has so many lines of code. I think that I need to put the code in another part and make it more viewable, or I don't know how to say it. But yeah, yeah, that was it. That was the app. And I also installed it on my phone and I tested it completely and everything works pretty straightforward. And yeah, I felt really happy about making this app. And so yeah guys, and that's how I made the third app. So yeah guys, that was how I learned Flutter in 14 days by making 3 apps. Yeah, actually right now I have the basic knowledge about Flutter and the basic stuff, topics to cover. So I think that I'm going to keep going with Flutter because I think it has a lot of future. That was it guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to subscribe, it will help me a lot. Yeah guys, see you in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.